Donald Trump has never been more humiliated because not only did millions, if not tens of millions of people protest him on his birthday, but also the parade he threw for himself was rained on, barely attended, and when he went up to give his speech at the end of it, he crumbled, unable to speak, slurring his words in multiple moments as cameras captured a bored crowd. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to subscribe to this channel because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we check out what Trump had to say or really couldn't say in his speech, I want to see how JD Vance opened it up because it is just humiliating.
Well, let me say to the thousands of Americans who traveled from distant towns and across state lines to be here today, this is your national capital. Welcome to Washington, D.C. We are thrilled to have you.
I apologize that we had to even watch JD Vance, but I find it hilarious that an event that Donald Trump and his White House were expecting hundreds of thousands of people to attend, that's their number. JD Vance started it by saying thank you to the thousands of Americans who showed up. He didn't even try to squeak in like tens of thousands to be nice to his boss or try to juice the numbers. Even JD could look out in that crowd and just go, no one likes us. No one wants to be here. And it was raining too. So the people who were miserable. We're going to see videos of Trump miserable later. But before we do, I want to see where people actually were showing up. That was LA, young to old, and including this 9-year-old who had some words to say.
Liberty and justice for all. How's it feel to be out here over the 101 with all these people honking in support of you guys?
It feels good to know. I mean, there's no reason for all of this. I mean, it's unlawful. We can't have a president who's a felon, honestly. I mean, these are people who have been here. They provide for us not just labor, but they're human beings. They deserve rights.
But this is it, you know, so there's flashbang grenades going on outside, Chris, but there's, how old are you? What grade are you in, buddy?
I'm in I'm going to go into 4th grade and I'm 9 years old.
Oh, cool, man. Congratulations. You probably just graduated. That's what's happening out here, okay? So 2 blocks away, David Noriega.
Donald Trump is sitting in the rain, upset that no one came to his birthday party. And on the other side of the country, we see millions of people protesting, including that 4th grader who was proudly out and about as Donald Trump sulks. It is just beautiful. But of course, they tried to spin it. They tried to do it up. And it started with Trump getting this weird birthday gift before we get into his speech.
This flag, which was flown over our nation's capital in free fall during the Army's 250th birthday celebration.
So you can hear in the background like a couple of people are chanting or like trying to sing happy birthday as Donald Trump is presented with a gift that he gave himself. Can we not understand how weird that is? Like, Trump isn't being given something. This was an order. He instructed this to happen. It's like planning a surprise party for yourself and then like buying the gifts that people are going to give you and then like taking their money to pay for all of it. You didn't even go out of your way. It's still an imposition. And what's so important to remember is it's not just that this event cost millions of dollars, tens of millions, 50 million probably. The damage that they did to Washington, D.C. is also going to cost money. That is how bad this was, but not as bad as Donald Trump's inability to speak.
There is no earthly force more powerful than the brave heart of a U.S. infantryman.
Just a complete and total disaster. It could not have been worse if I wrote it, if you wrote it. This was a total embarrassment for Donald Trump from start to finish, and it only gets worse because, oh boy, are we going to take some pleasure in watching the clips of just how empty it was. As we can see, the event was completely empty as, I guess, Donald Trump expected tens of thousands or 100,000 people to show up, but the bleachers were empty, the field outside the speech was empty, and if we look at the pictures captured, the mall was empty too, and there we see poor little Donald Trump, all cold, all sad, all bummed out that no one wanted to celebrate his birthday. Again, this couldn't have been a bigger disaster if they had tried. And as I previously said, it's not just a disaster, of course, because of how humiliating it was for Donald Trump and for soldiers to have to goose step on his behalf. I also saw some interesting commentary on Twitter, and I'm no expert on this, but it seemed pretty accurate. I guess you can't always say that with Twitter, but usually we know that when military men and women, our service members, are marching, they are doing so in lockstep. It is a very coordinated effort. But what was pointed out by someone on Twitter today is that that was not the appearance of this military parade, that maybe even some of the service members that were there were pretty unhappy and kind of showing that off. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but it would make a lot of sense because not only was this a waste of taxpayer dollars, this has now caused big problems in Washington. Donald Trump is just wasting our money. What happened to the efficiency? And it wasn't even a good waste of money. He clearly didn't enjoy the event. It was a joke. It was an empty crowd. He's just going to be humiliated because of it. But again, it only gets worse when we look at how much was spent and how much is being wasted by this Trump administration. Pete Hegseth was grilled on that in a clip I think we got to check out, given the context of the moment.
Another request for DoD support to transport ammunition, quote, to authorize military forces to detain or arrest American citizens, to provide DHS with military drone surveillance support, and to have the Marine Corps advise DSH on running joint operations. Is it your intent to improve the requests, all of them?
Well, Senator, we very much support President Trump's focus on defending the homeland on our southern border, as well as supporting law enforcement officials doing their job in ICE in Los Angeles who deserve not to be assaulted, accosted, and rioted while rounding up one of the 21 million illegals allowed in as an invasion under the previous administration. Are
you prepared to authorize DHS to use drones and also to authorize military forces to detain or arrest American citizens?
Senator, every authorization we've provided the National Guard and the Marines in Los Angeles is under the authority of the President of the United States, is lawful and constitutional. They are assisting in defending law enforcement officers and law enforcement facilities
so the answer is yes.
In the execution of their job
the answer is yes.
In the city of Los Angeles.
How are you paying for this? Is this done on a reimbursable basis by the Department of Homeland Security, or is the Department of Defense paying for this?
As we mentioned yesterday, a lot of this we are paying for, and some will collaborate with DHS on.
And how is that done given a CR which restricts your spending dramatically? What are you taking from? Readiness?
Well, as we acknowledged, and I can pass to my colleague Bryn, who knows the details on this, but in 2025, where we took from, we have completely refunded and then some in the FY26 budget.
Your whole ethic seems to be revolving on the lethality of the military force. How is this operation with Marines and National Guardsmen improving their lethality?
Senator, you mentioned the 11,000 at the border. It's actually 13,000. And I've been down there to speak with them multiple times. And people will say that mobilization hurts readiness. When you talk to them, it actually improves their readiness.
I'm talking about lethality. That's what you talk about all the time.
Readiness and training and accountability is all part of lethality.
No, that's right, training.
The more ready you are, the more capable you are, the more accountable you are, the higher your standards are. It all makes you more lethal. And the mission in Los Angeles, as you know well, sir, is not about lethality. It's about maintaining law and order on behalf of law enforcement agents who deserve to do their job without being attacked by mobs of people. And so we're very proud that the National Guard and the Marines are on the streets defending the ICE agents, and they will continue to do that.
Law and order is a civil function under the Constitution of the United States. Civil enforcement, law enforcement authorities, not the U.S. military. And
there's plenty of precedent for the U.S. military supporting law enforcement officers.
What your military is doing right now is laying concertina wire, guarding buildings, maintaining vehicles for other services. This is not only, I think, illegal, but also a diminution of the readiness and the focus of the military. But let me change course a bit. There's a general understanding that you have taken possession of this Qatari aircraft, the 747. But there are public reports that the Qataris have not yet signed a memorandum of understanding, which would specify that the agreement was initiated by the Trump administration and Qatar is not responsible for any future transfers of the plane's ownership. Are you in possession of the Qatari airplane now?
Any specifics about future aircraft that could be Air Force One can't be discussed here, but
sure, it can be
there is a conversation about a
memorandum
of understanding. A memorandum of understanding remains to be signed, Senator.
You have signed a contract with a company to reconfigure the aircraft. What is the price of that contract?
That cannot be revealed in this setting, sir.
Why can't it be revealed in this setting? This is the Appropriations Committee of the United States Senate. We appropriate the money that you will spend after it's authorized by my committee. And you cannot tell us how much the contract is for?
You will have that number, Senator. It just can't be talked about in the public realm.
The contract has been signed, correct? The contract has been signed?
The memorandum of understanding is not complete, and
I'm talking about the contract with the American contractor. Has it been signed?
It's nothing on that front that I'm aware of is being executed.
Well, that's contrary to what we've all heard. Second thing, what's the delivery time? in the contract?
Again, the delivery time of anything of that sensitive nature is not for public consumption.
Can you tell me the delivery time for the Boeing aircraft that were being prepared for Air Force One? Was that in the contract?
One of the problems is that the way we actually procure aircraft in this country takes so long. When it's ordered, it's 7, 8, 9, 10 years late, requiring the necessity for a stopgap alternative.
Well, no. What you've just said is that the Boeing information was public knowledge. The delivery date, the cost overruns, but this is not. Because this is not only a bad deal for the American public, it is just it's gratifying the president's ego. That's all it is. Thank you.
Wasting money deploying troops to attack peaceful protesters in Los Angeles, wasting money on Donald Trump's humiliating birthday parade, and wasting it on his jet. That is what the Pentagon looks like under Pete Hegseth. That's what this administration looks like under Donald Trump. It's a complete joke. We're going to always be calling it out. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.